ماجد دادتون وار ماجد دادتون قماني بس مجانا خان
هاترمغه به شلام على خوني ديمكن وسبايلا أديو إلى يوم درويتا استريتلا بيرخت مارش لا يومان مرشيشيت خط بيني سنة وارلا اخنا بدوكو غايوما خابي ابر ونادي اخشانك كسمان كي همنن خابي نيسن شرط بيني سنة له باروخو من قبل جاني ايدت كل اطرايكت خاب نيسن شوريه له بيني شاغت بيني سنة شوريه له تلهيوي او منتيانا مارديوترانا شاغت كل امت اطرت ساما قام يغزيلو خون كتخ مخلط قتريس سامي انا خرزا وديكاتهم بالمخزنه خاصة میله میکرد صبریت من میکرد لنده همزمان مویداله شاخی سیف و پشت شوریتا سامتریب تاویلی خمزم تامن میکرد سنگری کتی و شوری که جو خاطر که کانگرس شبت داور فرقله نشتریب لطله اینو میپوم جانب شما خن داخل مجرا بموت باروتا شوپ درش کنه سابقه خاد دستریک که ایله دموکرات هم بخاینه إلينوي كل نايت ستيت الديمقراطي لا خناشة كتشخر لرخي تجداش ولا جا قامة تبيتي لا كثير جانوا مديولة جا قامة ناش تريبل تبي خطري ألف فوتة رابع خلنت لا كامو مساب مغزيلة كتتلي باشرتا أبن زوجة لتواري بالتلفزيون كم رشماتيني ريبابليكان بارتي هذا كاتولي وراو سباي بداية الموديل باره أكربش كت متيلة جداش بتداور خاكربش رابع خلانه فانديشن رابع خلان تمتيله كبدايم من قبل مشينا كم يكرا سانجري رابع بشينا ديتم او يبرختا او باسيمه كاش هذا الشورى جبار الشورى له
باسمه يجو ما كل لتا نمتن كل الدنيا لو جمعت مع بدا خرزه
خب حقي بدو يوم تلاشي بعد كانت موبيله موجود
أنا
شوي
جورج إحنا طلاشة ببداية يوم خارايبة هل صاد دقيقة خارة تبليخ بي على بناتي قد من نيبة رابع قشة وبليلة كنا results أنا شلون بتاعي كم تخليني خلال لقامة but as the results started moving forward إحنا ديلا قد عدانا in the primaries crash تتويا خاب برسوباقينا إحنا قربابة 500 districts بإضافة precincts فقط تفعلن جو 9 congressional districts من كل دني districts خيل قد تفعلن من volunteers أنجح الشباب عن كم تقوى concentrate ودقوى وبتخاطري إخوة limited بvolunteers وخيلة إن مدري شباب 1000 plus votes تينو قاتن considering that should volunteer on your council palakwa for no more than 30 sarsat to Kushepta, or Mindi Ahmed Midland, and Salman at Takman Bazo, and Navi Van and Bushraba volunteers in the future, Bushraba precincts on top cover or the
Prishait Miaka Sangari volunteer kad human election go precinct Brashana. متحيرت بعدنا كجانو كانديديت بكوني بمدة ناشة حيرت مويلة أو والنتي شو لك الجورة بعدنا مويلة.
إيش رابع من ناشقة فوت بعدنا in midterms George أنا بخشنا لنا بضايع خخمنا بعض candidates دختاني أول candidate قد تطلق عمايا ونتفعل commercials على التلفزيون أخنا نتفعلنا budget coffers بدن شلانو دخوان so أنا بخشد تاما ناش بتاعنا رابع من بخشنا تاما فوت بعدنا يقى governors races خخمنا لنا بايا فوتو ديقى دني قارخلون undercards. So بتخاطر داين رابع نقاط لأن تلوخ ناشقة ترى they swing at least 1% of the vote. In Salmanet احنا مقرمنا ب إخوة باصور ب 3000 votes approximately و عيني لا one precinct. At one precinct, the law volunteers chums to cover all the fly, you might be able to flip those votes.
بس فالنتي شو لاري كنايت عدي ريبابليكان بارتي كد يوخون كما قبلة كتابت خد لايبر كانديديت كشيت بتاعي كد next term.
Already مقبرون قديان had the next day مقبرة Republican Party representatives, two different representatives مقبرون وطلاشي باينا يتفخ منه وبقولوا منه قد احنا يبقى قاعدة strategic plan قد مجر Republican Party, not only in the 9th congressional district, but maybe the larger areas of Illinois. Only model قد احنا adapted لان قد مطلقا يدني 7 precincts قد شبه 1000 votes تينو قاتم plus expand داخله و apply داخله for the rest of the district. A district incumbent قد برقاط داخله إلى minority whip at Congress. So very powerful district like a Democrats who in the past I flipped with votes by making sure that because of open primary Democratic votes cross the Republican Party who vote for the weakest of the candidates but lamsa khina lazim lela Paulsha that really the strongest candidate that called in the Republican Party after أنا أمينه ميدان إيماجو League of Women Voters يفت ورا مينه that's what she would do. Now after نيجي بداية إن after كافلا دفعت بخاطر governor race on the Democratic side رابع قربة it was very close that لمسا أو خيلو ما قابله and now once 2 hours before the polls closed that on the Shurilo Nani Badaya who would be the governor possibly on the Democratic side, and on Ukraine, man, okay, Ashland already cream of the Democratic governor race, Kushumot Wudun, and the Republican race, that Situn defeat or the and candidates that left by Kazakhstan in the general election. So that's part of the process because it's an open primaries. In Ashland we did pretty good compared to where
we got. Governor Illinois, Republican, Democrat. امن بشخلانه و امن ديمقراط خرمله ليلا
لا بداية it's Democratic primary George it's a Republican primary and because Illinois la open primary in
بداية Republican Democrat candidate Democratic إيوه مغبان ورابوا سبخان كوكتيل كاتن برأو برشنا كجوفرنر فوت ودي ديمقراط هر رابنا كدي ووت بعدنا ككل خالد بكل جريدة ديمقراط خك بدانا لا
ديمقراط لا بداية خدنا ناشي بتاعنا فوت بعدنا in a different primary Republican model your Democratic primary vote بعد Democrat your Republican primary because لنا بايا خبر super college into the general election so that's part of the process so then idea برخاطر your Illinois that on your برخاطر that will incumbent قد إلى in this case Democrat minority whip of Congress برخاطر that will law برسوبخينة قد برخاطر that will in the Republican primary برخاطر that will Democratic machine well at the same time though برخاطر the Republicans in a very limited it's on their internal issues برخاطر that will your own party so Salman law برسوب برخاطر that will خدنا powerful Democratic party برخاطر the machine of Republicans you have to literally beat 6 people just to be able to get to a point قد أمسقارمت وإن ما تطلع and inexperienced limitations that should أتنابيلو in the process there's 7 obstacles you have to overcome to get to where you need to be. So بخاطر احنا مثلا خلال مغزق بعده concentrating on small group of precincts and you a small group of precincts for بعد الشواء plus plus منه.
مراقب كم خمسة precinct هنا تاما 500 precinct.
خمسة in the 9th congressional district. إن عادية صالمنت من شواء احنا شواء ألف plus بلطلان. إن عادية شكلت as a beta test as a small example وأي multiply ودتلا على خمسة precincts تانا البلما precincts يعني completely قريمة the 9th congressional district بخاطر داين أو من the أخنا بدلان عادي Republican Party بالا بلاشي بيتوقع من همزمة provided داخل plan قاطع قد نجرم سيما بخيلة maybe if not in this general election in the future elections.
خب قد يكون خام سباي شولا ويله من جلد و من بر أنا إيشو خنا شخينا لير خطا. احنا جا encourage ودا خيار الجهل ديني كgraduate وانا أنت جو politic كlocal government خر رختيني كجانو city رختيني كstate رختيني كخدان كcongress كدام ساخني خني خشمة ممتخ دولة كماي أربناء تو احنا بكاليفورنيا لخ بخير جرابة دكانة إذا متنا فريشنا especially state level خدري أربناء تنجي جانو سنة من كونغرس كاليفورنيا اخنا زي كام دي إلينوي بارخ لي كان خيني زي كانت أوتوراي ديان graduate من سكول لا برخشنا بخاينا أمسيني خا باسولتا شكلين كتاب ودي أختم باسولتا كربيتش مطيلة خون أردي فاونديشن باناخن كدام ساخن أبيلم بوزة الناش represent واتجه حكمة أمريكا إن أبيتم باسيم أختم يكون قرمانة كامو مسافي خاف وتراب خدشة ناش تريبي لخون جاي قامة برخاطة أب كانوا تو يا خا experience كاتو خون خا reference تو يعني كذا ميكرو سانجري كتير بليخ كليشن خا أرمية أمريكا أديك الجودا شولا بزورة منتيانا ده بخشاوات خبطو يعني
إيه طويا يش أخنا هيش دانا ليرا بي تما مقرم تقاتن بتخيل جوج أنا من دكتورهم زملي مري win or lose أخنا شو لاني لقد مازق قاطراية إيش معنى قتلا شو لودتله يش يوم خرايا جت قمت عمره بيروا جو قصة politics وماربولوس vid interview على فيسبوك ديتا مطوبة قد فطيت موتو ديتون ميوقر سرجس وإتوانا كايا راكينا سورايا في دقيقة برخاطبة to look for them أي بلطلة دينج إنا مدر بلطلة أدي أخنا لا يدر أخبارها anymore أدي أمرا بضايلة شمعنا قتلا قد ناشي يطي قد جريج فوتو دي لانجو في ريجستر دي هل بديد أنا دا أخنا دقيقة خارطة خاصة من قام بولز دوري با بربابة تلتصور ألبي قد إنا Chicago police قد motorcycle riders إنا the chapter of the St. Michael's لخا أني قد ين مني endorse فيدوا أديو موري شدا أديو بار تري معنا بار election endorsement تيتوا مقادة قريبة قد إلى ليلا endorsement تاع ناشي within the Chicago area before in the larger area Lumsen Shemet because it's a future endorsement because it comes after the elections are closed. In a muila neketa muila marakadian marakat nash already hejrad in a bets possible to get on achnan in khishon laqama through this process but you smash maqama di midr qatlan qad mazuila min adiya ani baina ami involved in this process doqa Georgia, so احنا نتيلهم with a few months left وغزي مومدلان عادي Solomon if you have tradition قد بانت لهم all that many victory on this process of and I'm at victory in the sense of what we were able to achieve with a small group of volunteers and no coffers وشاد بنايا الله for future runs possible.
مياكا سانجري بخشاوت بايد رخت locally كستيت سنة تاما مياكا جان نمري وستيت سنة من سكوكي تاما بخشاوتم بوش chance ليلة كم عادية كتاخون ديلن كتاخون بداينا أمسيتم locals كانوا خون active وديتم رختيتم بيشم انتام قرميتهم كnext election كان بيتن كترشنا من يوين قبول من anyway يتاخدون هم شيء كم سيتون قاف زيتون كم سيتون كيوسيد تخطيتهم لا تنتقون من دي.
Hey, yes, George. In it لأني على بناتي قد بانا رختي هذا رفتهم for the local state seats.
جانوا
أنا جاني اتنام رابع شولان جري جوده already شروع the second phase of احنا مو بايخ شي وده خو يوناني اشتاير خيخينه اتن شار بغزايا قامو جري جورا خو جدا stage قد اتفرا بتقخ على because we have something else we're working on over the next 6 months قد خزيتون بجدويتا in possibly to do شغلة خلون من الخيل المغزوي ولا يو هج من أمريكا. أنا concentration دي هلم إلى الكونغرس أنا بيطن قد يالب ناتن تخمني بعض الكونغرس تخمني بعض السنة قاموا بتخاطر إن أمسح مورا خيال خبراته أنا يخاخينا جدا position أي ناشي شمسي قديان بربابة إسراشن الليفة هت أودي بعد الميل قبول ما جمدخا وبناشر وخالد كونغرسمان وخالد سيناتورز رابع عن قايلة كيش احنا الان تيلي وريجدا ريس متيلي بريشر سيستم عادي ابغ زايد محمري ناشي قد ليفل داي ماي خلاتيلو قاهيرتا بدلن endorsement من the Korean community بدلن endorsement من Asian community any ترانا any bonds كان عليه شاري $1 نيخاني خدان شارف بنايه انه خلونخ آتورايه خلونخ ملتن خلونخ قداني وخلونخ أمريكا مخمانا عادية منا بقرنا من Republican Party to take the lead on the strategic plan of how to go forward like Illinois. So in except the plan on Tuesday, that's a different route we'll take. So for Babbitt Arpatarana Ptichana من ده باصلتا قد لا تدخيبه خاد الشيخيته خمني ده قد in ناشن تخميني بعضه George in order to general election in Abachbavira to general election ومقرمخوا in general election لمسد رخبت anymore in أيضا your primary budget بياش لابارا مدر شمس رخبت خزت لا as an example أخنوخن Hillary Clinton in مقرم لك أوباما إن مدر خطلك presidency إن بار مقرم لك إن لمس رخبت presidency إطلاق ناشي جهوش ميدان مقرومنا تانخ in the primary يبشقانا step backwards Chomsky رختي but if they make it to primary the general election لا قرمي it's over so أنا قدي بشقابن we're in a better position عادية قد إتلندانا قد aldeya inexperience and the experience قد لي بخ build on them ومحمري in systemize ودخلون coffers بانخلون ناشم قرمي قد جاء مو جريج بوتو دي رابا ناشط لن حلم دا دقيقة خارطة ليوة concept فرمي وانا بيشمال L tracks فاخطة metro tracks جو مورتن جروف لخا خبرات صورت التقليدية اليوم دلتر موريشا مري فوت وتت مرانو مرا يمي مرتلا فوتو دا اوكي ايه هبر دراوا I couldn't guarantee قد تازاوا فوتو دا يلا خبر سوپا دا هر alde train تقليدية مرا مو جري جوتن قد register اودن so there's another vote you lose right there خبر سوپا خيتا تيل ورطاما ريشو تشيبوا خنا بخشل قد ماطال شولو مري أنا بداين سرعي مري sir did you vote today مري no I don't vote خشل ورا خشل تبلا train plot and checklet from a number position should be at لا parsu petlet and checklet lon and خمنة لعبة vote usually انترخينا lady vote جدو بيتا إترادي الصالمان خبر سوبر دخينا بيو بتفاقت مير وأنا بطلت بتخاطر موبي لب بلاشة إيران وبابا بلاشة إيراق وأمريكا شيء تتراد بطلع أنا إن تريسر بوت قد تعلقنا أطراي as a whole so بتخاطر داين it takes time to get أطراي to a position قد فرمي قد why it is important قد شريط شيء هلا دي لeva فرميو اینا عادیه بیش فهمنده نکنم خراب.
خیلی ترم مدل باره گده خورده بزرده بته قصد هم زمخن اتلو خون تری دکی خین دانا ده سگوندیم سعودی دانا خچ کریتی و کدیو خون امرجنسی متعلم خچ من خورزگام مبصران کدام سخ بودی خبر منطقه ولا وتانا من دوم من تانا من تابخن كذا شو كتبدلو خون اكرت بتش متيلو خون in 2 minutes please خبر خارج او ترويتا مو من عادي مو جو داخل
رابع ديلان باي فتانا فتانا منطق قد ان اوتراي قد بود بدلون قد الناشي قد participate بدلون او مني خارج قد رابعنا قايبه و خاويديو قد متون فيسبوك 3 دي خايم ماتر جمع جولو بلته و اینا طلاشن ارپاشن لنویه و مارن اختن تیغ وطو ده و هی تی و وطو دی وقت سنگهری اینا مدره من عادیه جو مخه ورطلا ان یال بناته هیچ دانا بیداغت هیچ دوشت خیلی شکلی صفر بیداغت آتورایه و بتخطر ران اخلان خطلان قد جو لبدانی زارخ قد politics are important in America.
على بارخلو اللي هي كابتن منتيانا قشولان خينه إن شيء ما دل بارك خرجت أطراي كلنته مو داله هجج قيال بنات ديان كشول ميك سانجري بدل من قم دي ميك بنجامين جونديانا بيتوا من قم دا بردا وميك النمر جو إلنو بيتوا ملخا أن إيشو بدل تيمون أورال جو حكمة زيمون نخرا الشعب دياني أرمناي ديان فرصاي ديان كمان جو من جشولا وارنا برشنا جانا بخواتنا أخنا ذا شكل توسا من از کمای و عود بسیم رابا تانا من شتی قبلالو که خارطه که تاتیتم تانیتم و مجد و یبرختا مقرمتو هنا بنيت كد متعلق عود بسيمه
George خلنا يجاوب رمضان ترى I'm glad I was the one who took the lead باسمه George
عزيزي thank you very much آتر موقع به آی خورزن کدا شوا یوم کد مدامشیتم تصویری ران ساعت خا خورز خازیتم له همزم تبتو یکت روش همزم تم یکرا هرمز من یکت دیوید متخلق کدم هر بیدتن از تابیلن خورزت ایتمدن خا کد مقبریات من ایتبتانیم خازن نخون کدم هر کدم پوشم شهر علی آشرا پوشم شهر
Greetings. My name is Linda Abraham, a Saifo Sanar USA representative. I would like to share with you an experience that touched my heart. It all started 7 years ago when I was invited to go to a beautiful hike in Valencia, California. My intentions were to enjoy the weather, exercise, and spend some quality time with family and friends. Right before starting the hike, I noticed a new face among us. And as curious as I am, with no delay, I approached and welcomed him. I introduced myself, and he humbly shook my hand and gave me his name. Few minutes later, the hike started. Before I knew, a couple hours had passed by, and I still was interested in his story and was enjoying our conversation. I asked him many questions, and he was patiently answering every single one of them. Through our long conversation, I found out that he was the guest of honor and the main speaker of the Assyrian 8th Society Gala event that evening. My heart was delighted, and I could not wait to hear his speech. By hearing his speech that evening, I was so touched that I approached him again and asked if he needs volunteers to help him establish an organization for his mission. We exchanged our numbers, emails, and addresses. A week later, I received a surprise call from him asking me if I was still interested. With no delay, my answer was absolutely yes. He smiled and said, "Linda, I will forward you the details." Shortly after, he proposed to establish a branch in USA. He encouraged and guided me with conducting research and interviewing numerous scholars around the world, including our beloved Melfono Ninus Aho. And now I want you to watch and enjoy an intimate documentary interview and hear the story of his life in his own words. Hello, and thank you for joining us. Tonight we have the honor of introducing an Assyrian scholar, an activist, an author, a man who dedicated his entire life on doing research and demanding recognition on the Assyrian genocide, the director and the founder of Seifo Center, Mr. Sabri Atman. Mr. Sabri Atman, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It truly is an honor to have you with us tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Linda, for having me here.
Thank you, thank you. Sabri, I want to take you back to your childhood. I know when you were 10 years old, you were asked from your teacher to go and travel to the city of Adab Hazari to pursue your career. When you got there, you were greeted with more than 300 people, and that is not an ordinary greeting one would expect. Tell us about it. You were 10 years old, your parents were not with you. How did that feel?
You know, I was born in a village, in a Syrian village called Arbo in Torabdin, when all people, they spoke Assyrian in my village. I was about 7 years old when we get the first school in Arbo, and we had a teacher called Mustafa Sert. His name was Mustafa Sert. After 2 years teaching us, he told my father to take me with his wife to Adapazare, which was close to Istanbul. I remember a little bit how we went to Adapazare. It took 2 days for us to arrive to the Adapazare. When I was there were many people. They were waiting for me because they heard about Assyrian Christian that was coming to their village. And I spent there in Adapazare with these people, and I had a lot of experience from this time because I was a child, 9 years old. And I remember also my mother was not very happy about it because, again, 9 years old child to go to Adapazare, it was long. And I stayed 1 year there. After a year, my father came back to Adapazare, took me back to Arbo.
Why did you go there, Sabri? What was the purpose of going to Adapazare?
My father's name was Shamun, a Syrian name. When he did his military service, he get a lot of difficulties because his name was Christian name, Assyrian name, and nobody spoke fluent Turkish in our village. And my father knew about the importance of education. When he thought if I go with my teacher to Adapazare, and definitely I would learn good Turkish. And he was right. When I went to Adapazare, I came back with good Turkish. And beside Turkish, it was more than my village. I saw a city. I saw different people. 9 years old, but until today, I travel from place to place. Yeah, this is my life.
And then when you were 18 years old, you were in school and you defended one of your Armenian friends in school. And then they suspended you from school. After that, you had to leave Turkey for political reasons.
Sure.
You went to Sweden and you published a book in Sweden.
Yes.
And I believe that's how the journey of Seifo Center started, from writing that book. Take us through that journey.
Maybe again it started in Arbo, in my village. My grandfather we had 7 churches in my village. We were 70 families with 7 churches. And as a child, I could see my grandfather, how he was crying. And he didn't speak He didn't want to speak with anybody, but we knew that my grandfather was crying for his two brothers that he lost during the Seifo. And I heard a lot of stories about that. And when I went to Adapazarı, from Adapazarı to Istanbul to study at the known college, Atatürk Erkek Lisesi, I knew a little bit what happened to Armenian, Assyrian, and one of our teacher, the director of the school, when he, 1979, when he opened the doors and was swearing to the Armenians, I was like people from Hakkari, Tur Abdin. I couldn't accept that the director was swearing, using bad words against the towards the Armenians, and I protested. And I said, sir, you are not allowed to use this kind of language against the Armenian, because also my schoolmates was Armenian by name Jack Karayan, and he didn't maybe dare to say anything. I was Assyrian, I didn't have anything to lose. I protested, and the teacher came and he slapped me once in front of my friends, and I protested again. He did it again, and the third time, believe me, Linda, I start to swear all swear word that I learned from Arbo against my teacher, and after all, they called the police. I was taken to the police station. I spent 2 nights at the police station, and it was at the beginning that I was kicked out from the college, and I became politically aware, politically active. From Istanbul, I escaped to Austria, to Vienna. I was there for 5 years. I was working and studying, but I didn't get my paper done. So after 5 years, I decided to go to Sweden and start with a life in Sweden.
Sabri, you tell us about your book. What was the first book that you published in Sweden? What was it called? And I know the journey, Seifo Center Journeys, started from that book. Tell us about that.
The book was written in Swedish. It was not about genocide. It was why the Assyrian immigrated to Sweden, which kind of economical benefit Sweden, European countries can take from the immigrants. But I gave some facts also about Assyrians living in Turkey. And I was telling not only Armenians, but also Assyrians were killed in Turkey. And suddenly I got a letter after a while from Turkish guy. He was calling me a liar. He was calling me that I hate Turkey, Turks, and the information that was in my book was wrong. And he was asking many questions. And many of these questions, I said, this guy, he is right. I don't have this knowledge. I started to read about the Assyrian genocide. So I get a lot of information. It was the beginning of Seifo Center. Yes.
Yeah. Sabri, in your opinion, how does a genocide affect a nation?
You know, Linda, 1915, they didn't kill only our people. They didn't only took our properties, but they killed, they damaged our national identity, they damaged our language, they destroyed our people. Also, the confidence of the Assyrian is weak because of the genocide. After the genocide, many survivors, they didn't want to speak about what happened to them. I remember I interviewed at least 70 people, 70 elderly people. Many of them, they couldn't finish the interview. They were crying. They were asking many questions. They were saying, what are you going to do with this? We already lost what we lost. And they killed our people. We are done. So the confidence was very weak. So still, imagine if the genocide didn't occur. Now our main population would be about 10, 15 million people in Assyria. But now we don't have this population. In Hakkari, they were over 50% of the population, they were Assyrian. But now, 2016, if you go back to Hakkari, you will not find one single Assyrian. They killed them, they deported them, and they took their properties. And still, these perpetrators, they deny what they did against our people. So we suffered a lot. They did a lot of damage with the genocide.
Even nowadays, Sabri, a lot of people question me or ask, what are you going to do with this information? 100 years have passed by. What can we do now?
You are right. Many people, they are saying, yeah, it happens 100 years ago, and forget about this. It's our history. Are we going to forget about what happened to us? Are we going to forget our history? Is anybody saying here in the United States that history is not good to learn at school? I think it's important to know about our past. If we know what happened to our people, then we could get more knowledge how we can solve our problems. Also, we can tolerate each other. Take, for example, the name issue that we have among our people. Assyrian, Chaldean, Syriac, Babylonia, Akkadian, etc., etc. Imagine if the genocide didn't occur. Imagine we had universities, schools, that they could educate us about our history. Then we could solve all this problem very easily, because we didn't get this chance, this institute that could teach us about our history, about our identity. This is the reason sometimes we are fighting against each other for nothing about the name issue. I think the genocide is important to know. Also, to know about past genocide, to have knowledge, also can prevent future genocide, future crimes. It is very important.
When it comes to Assyrian genocide, do you think the world is denying it or ignoring it?
Denying, I can't say that. Turkey denies. Some Kurdish organizations and perpetrators, they deny what they did against our people. But the rest of the world, most probably, they ignore because they don't have knowledge. We are obliged to give this knowledge, this information. Because of the last 10, 15 years, we did a lot of work. So Republic of Armenia, Sweden, Austria, Vatican, Czech Republic, Syria, and many other institutions, they acknowledge the Assyrian genocide. And I believe if we work a little bit harder, the number will rise.
Sabri, I know you were very close to Malfono Ninus Aho. He was a SAFO ambassador. In one of your interviews, actually in one of your speeches, when you were giving a speech, you found out about his illness and you got very emotional. How much of an effect did he have on you personally, besides SAFO, just on you as a friend? How much of an impact did he have on you?
I think a lot. With Malfono Ninus Aho, I found myself very strong. The name of Ninus Aho, I think it was year 2000, I was listening to a Syrian radio station in Sweden. Malfono Gabriela Fram was interviewing Ninus Aho, and he was asking him, why did you take your kids and went to Syria? He said, I want to be honest with myself, because I was talking all the time about Beth Nahrin and was living in Chicago and Los Angeles. I wanted to see how it's possible to go and live in Mesopotamia in Beth Nahrin. I took my kids and went there. The language that he was using, the words he was choosing, it was amazing. I said, this guy, he knows Arbo, he knows Tur Abdin, he knows Mosul, he knows Ankawa, he knows many places. And I found he's very great Thanaya. And I had the chance to meet Malfono Nino Saho by accident 2004 in Holland. And since I met him until he died, we had contact. And every week, if we didn't spoke 3-4 times, at least 2 times, we were on the phone together. We were together in Sweden, in Australia, in Holland, in Germany, and he was Seifo Center Embassy, and a great friend. You know what I like with Malfono Nino Saho? It happens to me if you took the phone and called him 3 a.m. in the morning, told him, what are you doing, Malfono? He was saying, I'm sleeping. Do you need anything? Just give me a few seconds. I will wash my face. I am ready. He was ready he was dedicated his life for Amtha, for Assyrian. So for me, it was the guy that I was looking. It was really, he gives to me, to Seifo Center, a lot, and still I am missing Malfono Nino Saho. There are many Malfono Nino Saho in our community. I am very happy for that, but it was a great loss. And still, I have Malfono Nino Saho in my heart, and he is still Seifo Center Embassy.
Absolutely. He's in everybody's heart. He definitely impacted a lot of hearts and lives, and I know he personally touched my life as well. Yes, yes. Ninus Aho said, through Seifo we will unite. Urchet Seifo atur b'chayete. He would always say that. As a director of Seifo Center, what message do you have for Aturaya Khate? Because we all want, and it is our dream and wish, for Assyria to rise in 2050.
You know, I think I was 14 years ago. I was in a city called Norrköping in Sweden. I was invited by Assyrian organizations and churches. They were calling them in different names. Some of them, they were insisting they are Arameans, some of them Syriac, and other, they were calling themselves in different name. When I went, there were 6 priests. They said, you know, for 30 years, we couldn't talk to each other. We didn't have anything common together. But this presentation brought us all together. And for me, it was amazing to hear from these people, 30 years. They couldn't talk to each other. They couldn't do anything. But Seifo, because the genocide, because the history brought these people together to be humble, to try to understand each other. So I think definitely Malfono Nino Saho, he was right that Seifo, our history, will bring people together, and still we bring people together. And Malfono Nino Saho's dream was, like many other countries, we recognize the Assyrian genocide. I think by Armenia recognized the Assyrian genocide, so it is very important that Armenia recognized it, because Armenia, what they are saying, they are saying we were not alone when we were killed. Among us, they were also Assyrian and Greeks. So it means 28 countries that recognize the Armenian genocide will in the future recognize the Assyrian genocide as well.
Okay, all right. Were there any other perpetrators besides the Ottoman Turks that were involved in the Assyrian genocide?
Yes. The genocide was organized by the Progress Union Party called Ittihad and Teraki, but the Kurdish forces also participated on the killing of the Assyrian and Armenians. Not only killing, but they took also our properties. For example, in Hakkari, more than 50% of the population in Hakkari were Assyrians. But now, year 2016, if you go back to Hakkari, you will never find one single Assyrians left. All, they are gone. Also their properties, they are taken by the Kurds. The same in Diyarbakir, in Mardin, in Bitlis, in Van, in Urmia, and many other places that our people were living. So the Kurds participated, not only Turkey, but also Kurds. They have to acknowledge and apologize, recognize the Assyrian genocide.
Sabri, why is Turkey denying the genocide?
Because the killers, the perpetrators, they committed genocide against our people. Turkish education system consider them as their heroes. For us, Talat Pasha is like Adolf Hitler, but for them, it is the founder of Turkey.
Yeah.
And secondly, they took our properties. The richest people now in Turkey, they are rich. You know why? Because they killed our people, they killed the Armenians, also they took their properties. And they think if they recognize the Armenian Assyrian genocide, then they have to pay. And thirdly, also it is because of their identity, it's part of their identity, and that means the genocidal mentality still exists in Turkey. And few years ago, one of the Turkish general, he said, tell them, he was smashing the Armenians, if they don't stop blaming Turkey, we can do it against them. So he was threatening the Armenians. The same with our people. So the genocidal mentality still exists in Turkey, and this is the reason why Turkey denied the Assyrian and Armenian genocide.
And as we can see, the genocide on our nation is still happening today. What can we do to prevent that?
You know, when we speak about genocide, we don't mean only 1915. The genocide is a process. 1843, 1894, 1896, 1909, 1914, 18, 1933, Simele massacre, and 2016. Still the genocide occur in Iraq and Syria against our people. If we know enough about the genocide, if there are enough forces, United Nations, great powers, if they acknowledge, condemn, punish the perpetrators, it means they will go and rescue our people. This is the reason we want that the past genocide should be condemned enough, so in order to prevent future genocide. So it is important because it happens to us. It's important also for our future. We don't want future genocides, and the best way to prevent future genocide is to condemn and punish the perpetrators.
Do people support Seyfo Center, and how can they support Seyfo Center?
I think as Seyfo Center director, I can tell you this, we have great support by Assyrians. We are not few people. We have our people behind us. And we did great events, activities. We did 3 large conferences in European Parliament that 350 people participated in the first conference. We did a conference in House of Commons in England. We did many conferences in Sweden, in Austria, in Germany, in Belgium, in Greece, in Armenia. We erected so many monuments all around the world. There are many countries, organizations that recognize the Assyrian genocide. Without our people's support, we were not able to do these activities. Of course, we need more support. We need more activists. We need to publish more scholarly books. We need to do more documents. We need to lobby, to acknowledge, and to ask more countries to recognize the Assyrian genocide. So we need our people, we need our support, we need more support for SAFO Center. And I am very optimist. We will do it. We will do it.
Well, and you've proven it, Sabri, in the past 10 years, just the past 10 years that SAFO Center has been established. You just mentioned all these accomplishments. Imagine if these would have happened 100 years ago, where would our nation be today? Yes. So this is the time for us to stand up. This is the time for us to put our hands together and raise our voice and say, we are here, no more genocide, it's not going to happen again. And I think if we all put our minds into SAFO happened to all of us. When they killed us, they said an onion is an onion, it should be chopped. They killed the Assyrians, they killed the Armenians, the Greeks. If we all raise our voice together, definitely in 2050 Assyria will rise again.
And I truly believe SAFO, the genocide, was not only against the Assyrians. It was against humanity. Yeah. And we are obliged to do more to be acknowledged, to be condemned, because it was crime against us, but at the same time it was a crime against humanity. So not only Assyrians, we should seek for support by others nationalities, Americans, Swedish, Belgium, Australian, and other nationalities also should support us in our struggle.
What is your next mission, Sabri? What's next for you as a director of SAFO?
As a director of SAFO, my dream is that SAFO could be a real research center, publish many scholarly books, support young Assyrians to do their research, to have some more documents about our history, also that SAFO is recognized by many other nationalities. This is my goal, and I'm very optimistic, as I said.
It will happen.
Yeah.
Do you know of any other scholars that are interested to pursue this career? Have you come across any Assyrians that want to become scholars just like yourself and pursue and study in the genocide? Have you met any of them?
I received so many emails from young Assyrian students, researchers, that they want to write their papers on the Assyrian genocide. And you remind me tomorrow I have to answer two students from Germany. They will do their research paper about SAFO. It happens in many, many countries. So they will be more and more. Only in Sweden we have 5,000 students at the different universities, only in Sweden. So I feel like in the future we will have more scholars, and I am very happy for that.
Good, good, yeah. Good. What is your, what does the future look like within the 5 years? Where do you see SAFO Center in 5 years?
As I said, more books to be published, some more documents. There are some more countries that recognize the Assyrian genocide. So it is my dream. Okay. And I think in 5 years we will do it.
Accomplishment, definitely. If within 10 years we have accomplished so much, I can only imagine the future is really, really bright. Yeah. Okay. As we know, many countries recognize the Assyrian genocide. Which one of these countries is the most important in recognizing the genocide?
Of course, all the recognition is important, but there are two countries that recognize the Assyrian genocide were very important: Republic of Armenia and Germany. By recognizing the Assyrian genocide, Armenians were saying we were not the only victims that were killed during the genocide in Turkey, in the Ottoman Empire. Assyrian and Greeks were among us. That means 28 countries that recognize the Armenian genocide should recognize the Assyrian and Greek genocide as well. So Republic of Armenia was very important. And recently, Germany recognized the Assyrian genocide as well. And they didn't tell the Ottoman commit genocide against the Armenian and Assyrians. They said we participated on the killing of the Armenian and Assyrian as well. We feel sorry. We apologize for the genocide against the Assyrian and Armenians. That means we Assyrians, Armenians all together, we have to ask, yes, Germany participated on the killing of the Assyrian and Armenian genocide, so they should help our people. They should help us to heal our wounds. Germany, at least, they can help our people in Iraq and Syria. The genocide is going on right now. So two countries, they were very important, Armenia and Germany.
Okay. So Sabri, what do you think about our setup tonight? We're sitting outside. We've got a beautiful pomegranate tree behind us. What does that remind you of?
You know, Linda, thank you so much for having me here in your home. I see cameras here, people. I see Armunta, Remune, trees there. I see sky, very beautiful weather. Really, I feel very happy to be here, to be interviewed by you. I feel great. It reminds me to Rabdin. I feel in my village.
You feel at home?
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you, Sabri. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. It truly was an honor to have this moment, this interview with you. You truly are a hero for us.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. An act of genocide has been committed to our Assyrian nation in the hands of Ottoman Turks and their former allies, the Kurds, during World War I. We have been stripped away of our fundamental rights and deserve restitution. Turkey must acknowledge its wrongdoing and publicly apologize. Having an organization like Seyfo Center is essential because we document genocide testimonies for further generations. These testimonies serve as the basic awareness among our new generations and provides facts about what happened during the Seyfo. The late Malfono Ninus Aho, as Seyfo Center ambassador, taught us that martyrs are calling upon Assyrians to unite. Our martyrs are telling us to have some commitment and some ethics. They are asking us, have you forgotten about us and your nation? They are probably wondering why, after all they have sacrificed for their nations, how come no one even remembers them? We will rise again, working hand in hand with the new Assyrian to lay down the first building blocks for the new Assyria in Ashur. Seyfo is the proof that our nation will unite. The new Assyrian will be born to unite the nation as it should be on its land, within its borders, under the sun like it always did. We should not let our martyrs' bloodshed be forgotten. With your help and support, we will accomplish our mission.
Palo